Everyone, it's Natasha. Thank you so much for watching my video, stopping by my channel. And I'm going to talk about a Fisher-Price glider. So before our son was born, I was very determined to get some sort of anything for that would be motion, that would give my baby motion, because from what I've noticed, what I've read, what I've kind of looked around, it seemed that there are going to be a lot of times, any time of the day, and it's especially at night, that your baby will definitely be very fussy and cry, and no matter how much you're gonna be holding them and soothing them, it's just not gonna work, and your arms are just gonna get completely tired at some point. Your body's gonna get depleted. You're gonna get too tired, exhausted, and you don't want to run the risk of dropping your baby or falling asleep on them. Those are the worst case scenarios. So I wanted to make sure that wasn't even a possibility. So when we were looking around, and we did have a swing, it was a 2-in-1, I remember. It was a 2-in-1 swing and rocker. And I am glad that we didn't get it, because, and I'll tell you why anyway. So anyway, I honestly have never seen it up close. I've never seen it work aside from video. I mean, from their video that you can find at Babies R Us. So I wasn't really very sure what I wanted to do. My husband found a baby resale shop, which, if you don't, in your area, there should be one. If not, I would suggest on looking at Facebook and seeing your local area that there might be moms that would get rid of their stuff. And I say that because when you have baby items, you go through them really fast, especially clothes. So anyway, going back to the glider, I wasn't sure if I wanted a glider. Again, from what of my research, I preferred to use the swing. So when we went to this store, that my husband was like, I found this store, let's check it out. We got nothing to lose anyway. So anyway, I can barely, look at this. I can barely fit in my shirt. I'm sorry, guys. It's just so, I just feel a little uncomfortable in a lot of my clothes. So anyway, we go in the store, and I see all of these gliders, rockers, and swings. So we were looking around, as well as going on our phones and checking reviews, checking how it works and stuff like that. And we were looking at a swing, and when we tested it out, because you could test it at the store, oh no, we did not test it out, because the swing we were looking at was actually, it was just battery operated. I don't know if it came with an outlet or a plug, but the one at the store, the resale shop for babies and for little kids, did not have that cord. So we looked around even further, and we saw a glider. I was very weary about it, and I was really not interested in it, and I kept looking and kept looking and kept looking, and my husband was just like, why don't we just, no, that was for a different swing. I'm sorry. Okay, so we were looking around, and we both really thought we're just probably going to buy this, the swing that I wanted, brand new, because we couldn't find it anywhere. I remember we were just going through the store, and we both saw an item. I think it was the baby carrier or something else that we were looking at. And then I looked down, and there was a baby glider. A Fisher-Price glider. Mind you, I didn't really do a lot of research in regards to Fisher-Price items, because a lot of reviews that I found were from Graco. So that's why I preferred to look at Graco items instead of any kind of Fisher-Price So we checked that out and it said glider. And I said, you know, I'm not really interested in a glider. I'm not really sure this is the right route. And my husband's like, you know what, let's just give it a shot. If you really don't like it, you really don't like it. So I said, you know what, I'll give it a shot if, you know, they allow us to test this. I mean, I don't want to bring this home and then not like it, and then, you know, it's a resale shop. I don't really know the terms. So we go to the front and I ask the girl, okay, is it possible to turn this on so we can see how it does and how it works? And she says, oh, of course. And this did come with a cord. So we try it out. We just did all the settings. Everything worked perfectly. I think it would glide side to side, I think 5-6 speeds, and it would go up and down 5 or 6 speeds as well. It had, I think, 5 or 6 nature sounds, I think. It had some kind of 2 different kinds of music. There was typical music and then there were nature sounds, but they were both just, you know, stimulation of sound, and then 1 vibration level. So I thought, as long as it vibrates, that should be fine. As long as, you know, it does move. And I said, well, if we do get this and, you know, the baby won't really like it, I think I'm going to go crazy. And he said, you know what? How about this? First day, we go home, baby, when we put the baby in there, and no matter how much we try, we give it a few hours, how much we try, and the baby really will hate it, that I will go myself and I will go pick the swing that you wanted. And I said, okay, that's not a problem. So we had the glider about a few weeks. I know it was really cut close, and if I knew all of this stuff, I really would have been a lot more prepared and not wait for a lot more last minute things, because I really thought I had a little bit more time. So we used the glider, and I mean, when we came home, you know, we plugged it in ourselves and did all that stuff. It was moving fine. Excuse me. And so we were fine. The baby came home. I really was worried because the first time I put him in there, he cried hysterically. So I was really worried. I did all the settings. I did everything that he would do. I did it. After maybe, I mean, when you're a mom, and you know, I'm a new mom, like when you hear your baby cry, it just feels like my chest and my heart is just being crushed. So it was very painful to just let him kind of get used to it for even a few minutes. And I just couldn't take it anymore. I picked him up and I checked everything. If there's something else that might be making him cry or uncomfortable. When I checked his diaper, he filled his diaper. And what I noticed was a couple weeks after that, every time I put him in the glider and I put it on vibrate, it actually encouraged him to fill his diaper. And I think the reason that he didn't like it was because it was a stimuli for him. It was, stimulating for him to fill his diaper, and he didn't like the feeling of filling his diaper. And because in the beginning, my baby would cry before he does a number 1 or a number 2. And after a few weeks, after a month or so, that's when he changed from crying before it comes out to being fine until it comes out. And that's when he indicates and cries, my diaper's dirty, please change him, in his own way. So anyway, from what I've noticed, I love the glider. I love it so much. Sometimes there are a lot of times when I put my baby down in it to sit, that it's not in 3 seconds that it's going to quiet him down. and sometimes being put in the glider now, where he's a little bit over 3 months old now, that it will actually cause him to cry. But that has been going on for the past between 1 to 2 weeks. And I think it's because he knows when I put him there, he doesn't have the human interaction anymore. Prior to that, putting him in there, yeah, he will be a little bit fuzzy from time to time. He will cry from time to time. You give him a few minutes and it will just knock him out. You do have to endure the crying, okay? Because they're so small, because they're so young and they can't hold their head up in the beginning, and even so now, he still can't do it completely 100% on his own. We propped up the glider. We put something, in the bottom before he lays on it, like a blanket, a baby blanket. And my husband folded it up twice, and it fits there completely. And he lays on it, and so the important thing is to make sure the head is not drooping like this. The important thing is the head is still doing this way so that they can still breathe. So you just have to pay attention to that every time, because sometimes when you're extremely tired, the smallest detail can be your demise, and that is really the biggest thing. When it was still pretty warm out, we did not actually put in a very thick blanket underneath. Now he has a very thick blanket underneath, because the bottom of it is just a thin layer of cloth, and then underneath it is plastic. So it's not very warm. So when it became cold, that's when he started to cry, because he was extremely cold. So, try to make sure that this is not a complete fix. Even though you're putting your baby in the glider, it doesn't mean that it's going to stop all the crying. When they're hungry, when they're dirty, when they have gas and need to burp, when they just want human interaction, they are still going to cry. But what I'm just letting you know is that I do recommend the glider, and I do love it so much. I just wish that it also came in different settings. The settings that I'm talking about is more on positioning of the I don't know what it would call it, the half of the egg or the chair. I gotta wrap this up because my baby's crying. So what I would probably prefer is it came in different ways. Like it could go a little bit more, because right now I think it is probably in a 45 degree angle, maybe to maybe 40 to 35, in that range. I would prefer if that part, you can actually have probably 10 different settings, from a 90 degree angle to flat, and 8 in between. That would be ideal for me. Also, it would, honestly, what you really need is just two different ways for it to glide side by side and up and down. We just went to Babies R Us a few days ago, and I saw this extremely expensive glider, and it was supposed to do like 8 different supposed ways to glide, and I don't think your baby really cares that it needs 8 different ways to cry. To glide. I think that was just a waste of money. I don't mind spending money if you really do need to, and I don't, I have other videos on how to save money and be frugal in certain things. But there are certain things too that I don't believe you should spend money on, like a brand new model of a glider just because it does 8 different kinds of movement. I find that silly and stupid. I think that it just needs the up and down, because the up and down, when you're holding them, it just kind of feels like they're walking with you like this. To do the side by side, it just kind of feels like maybe you're sitting down or standing up and you're just doing this to them. I believe from my experience that I think that is really what is important. The going into an infinity symbol, a circle, a letter S, I don't really think they need that. I don't think it's essential, especially because when you're holding your baby, you don't really do an infinity symbol. You don't really do like a letter S constantly. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's necessary. Do I think you need to really get a what is that? A different brand? I don't know. I didn't try anything, but I did notice that the Fisher Price is really an amazing product that we have, and mind you, it's pre-loved. We don't know how long this was used before, but to think of it as pre-loved, it's not brand new, so this has been used. Okay, even if it was used for a week, even if it was used for a month, it has still been used, and it is still working. I use it every day on my baby, and he is over 3 months. Every day I use it. There hasn't been a day that I have not used the glider with him, and it works all the time. Right now, if you guys heard it, he was crying, and right now he stopped. Where is he right now? He's actually in the other room, so that I know what's going on, and he is on the glider. So there are going to be times in which he will have a cry here and there, maybe a 10-second interval or 20. However, if he's really not that hungry, if he's really not hungry, he's really not dirty, sometimes he has dreams, he will make quick sounds, he will make like a 10-second cry. But I think because he's going back again, I think that was he probably dirtied his diaper and probably hungry. So I'm gonna try to finish this as fast as possible. It also comes with a harness. So the harness comes from the sides, one on each side, and it also has a bottom part, so it goes in between their legs. If you can find, I wasn't able to find like one of those neck pillows, that might be really that would help in either a glider, a rocker, or even a swing. That will help if you want to get that. I haven't really, I went to different stores, I checked, and they all just seemed really big. My baby doesn't have like a thick neck, so I just didn't get one. So we did do-it-yourself type of thing, and we figured things out just by what we already had for him, and we're able to just make sure his head doesn't just droop this way. As long as they're able to breathe, they should be fine, and I'm safe. Do I recommend the Fisher Price glider? Yes, very much so. 2 thumbs up. I cannot ever imagine my life without it. I love it so much. I think the only thing that would be like, if I was asked what would you recommend for a little tweak of an improvement, I would say another level of vibration. Maybe another speed of the movement, so going up and down, going side to side. The biggest thing for me is probably the size of the basket, the size of it, and how, if you can adjust it, going in different degrees. Because right now, the one that I have, which a lot of gliders do not really recline or go in a 90-degree position, they just sit like half an egg. It doesn't have an option for you to glide, like, you know how like the bigger kid cart seat in which you have options to glide. It doesn't really do that. And I understand why they think that way. Excuse me. But I do think that if it was able to go completely down, and with the harness, it does make me feel very comfortable, So those would be my tweaks. Maybe another level of vibration, another level of the movement, like the going left to right, another level for going up and down. Also, I really wouldn't mind if it also went front and back. I would actually like that because it's still the same thing. The size of the egg, the recline options, and I almost forgot to add this. You know how you get a baby carrier that you put in your car or a car seat, in which it also comes for a smaller size baby or a newborn size. That would actually be the biggest thing that you can add with the glider. Ours did come with that. However, he outgrew it. And what I would think, that part, I would kind of have maybe 2 different inserts. One would be like for a 4 or 5 pound baby, like a really tiny baby. And then the second one would be from in between that to, or maybe 3 inserts then. So from maybe a 5.5 pound baby up until 10 pound baby, you know. And you also have to consider different sizes of babies, because my baby is long. He grows lengthwise, not really widthwise. And you have to consider that too, that there should be options for that to make it, to make the harness as well as the inserts for a skinny baby, but a long baby, not just for a baby that just goes wide and not long very much. So thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you love my video. I hope you give me a thumbs up. I hope you also hit the subscribe button down below and join my YouTube family. If you have any questions or comments, you want to chit chat with me, feel free to do that down below. I love interacting with everybody that does that. And if you guys, if you only get like a thank you or something very simple that is not a conversation, to me, when I read those comments, it's just because I really don't know what to say. So that's just it. Thank you so much, guys, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.